Hello everyone, my name is Blackwatch, been looking forward to this one. Welcome to another episode of How to Play, and in this week's episode we're looking at Jordan Trace, also known as Thermite. I've got more hours on this guy than any other operator in the game, so I've been pretty excited to cover him. And he's a 2 armor, 2 speed attacker, and he is a member of the FBI SWAT from Freedom Land. He has 2 primary weapons, the M1014 semi-automatic shotgun. This is a meme cannon, absolutely not competitive. Make sure you're only taking this if you're looking to piss about and not actually win games. And his alternative is the 5.56 XI assault rifle. This is actually a really good assault rifle. The recoil's quite stable. There's lots of attachment choices. He's got a 2X, it's got a 4-grip. It's just a great gun, and also if you're an OSA main, it's a perfect flex over because they both have the same gun with the same attachments. He has 2 secondary weapons, the M45, which is a 1911 style pistol. It's big boom boom, small magazine. I prefer this one most of the time, but the 5.7 has small boom boom, big magazine, but quite big boom boom for small boom boom, if you know what I mean. So it's actually really good, and I have been using it on occasion. You'll probably see a kill actually with it. Oh no, you won't. I got it last night and I didn't record it, apologies. But yeah, I have been using this because I like the 5.7 because it's Sam Fisher's gun, but the M45 is also very good, so it's really just a preference thing. Secondary gadgets, you got the smoke grenade, you got flashbangs. Personally, I prefer the smoke grenades because they're just more in line with what you need in a round. You're not really looking to flash in and breach out and all that kind of stuff. It's more trying to make sure that your breaches are as smooth and as danger-free as possible. And one of the best ways to do that is to use that concealment from the smoke grenade to basically cover your attempt to plant. And its unique gadget, as you probably guessed, is the Brimstone BC3 exothermic breaching charge. It's got 2 charges and it has a short detonation time. It's one of the shortest, in fact it may be the shortest out of all of the operators, and the only difference is that he has to plant it and then detonate it, whereas Ace, when he throws Selma out, it starts to detonate immediately, but I do think it detonates slower. I'm not 100% on that, but anyway. It has the largest explosion of all the hard breach options in the game. This is not even close. Hibana and Ace just can't compare. He has a massive breach whenever it goes off. So his strengths, fat breaches for fat walls. Also, that quick detonation is useful, definitely makes him more potent against bandit trickers, which is going to be coming back because there's going to be a rework to bandit eventually that will allow that to be a playstyle again. That fast detonation is going to help deal with that versus the likes of Hibana, who takes just too long to pull off her breach. And he has a good loadout that I'd say suits his playstyle, especially with those smoke grenades. In terms of weaknesses, he's the most at-risk explosive hard breacher in the game. The other ones don't have to expose themselves as much to do their job. Thermite is very much right in the fray when he wants to get his job done. He's also very limited on hatches, not as limited as Ace, but certainly more limited than Hibana, in that he only has 2 charges, and if he uses them on a hatch, that's a lot going to one, what would be considered sort of minor objective. And with the bandit rework coming in the future, you are obviously now going to have to worry about tricking again. Ace is the ultimate anti-bandit tricker out of the explosive hard breachers, and not being able to do what he does, you do have to use a little bit of mind games and a little bit of skill to get past a good bandit. So tips and tricks for Thermite. It's going to be short and sweet on this one. Subscribe if you like the channel, by the way. I've been doing these guides every week. I don't plan on stopping. I hope you enjoy them. Yeah, let's go on with this. Basically the same tip as Thatcher, fundamentally. You want to get your job done as quickly and as safely as you can. So pick a close spawn and just get it sorted as soon as you can. Don't mess around. As soon as your job is done and your breaches are done, you can move on, do whatever else you want. But until that point, get it done properly. If the wall's being contested by an active counter breach, especially bandit, by counter breach I mean Mute and Kaid and bandit. Mute is not as scary, Kaid's a little bit scary, and bandit will be the most scary. Still is the most scary technically, but he's kind of in a bad spot just now with the way that Thatcher works. Do not plant your charge across 2 walls. What I mean is don't put it in the join in between the walls, because that just means that he doesn't have to guess which side you're putting it on, because he puts it on either side and he's going to be destroying your charge. so don't do that. If the breach you're wanting to breach into, or the wall, sorry, you're wanting to breach into, is in line of sight of a good angle for the enemy, don't throw the smoke on the wall to cover you. Instead, you should look to throw the smoke towards the angle that's being covered, because that way you're concealing the entire area from their point of view versus concealing just your position on the wall. Now, they might still guess it is concealment, not cover, but this is a way to try and at least make it a bit easier for yourself. And in terms of bandit tricking guidance, you really just got to use your instincts on this one. You want to try and practice your timing with Thatcher, that's a big one, and plant your charge basically just as, or even, you know, a couple of milliseconds before it detonates, so that you have as small a delay between bandits' batteries being switched off and your charge getting planted and then detonated. It's obviously not always going to work out like that, but these are the little things you can do to try and maximize your potential. If he's actively tricking on a wall, this isn't really going to apply so much now, but certainly when he gets the rework where he can plant batteries onto walls twice, that's when you're going to be in a situation where you need to listen to where he is, get that spatial audio on the go. Definitely helps if you have a headset, and do little bait plants. So if he's leaving the walls clear, as a bandit normally would if he's tricking, then you want to put it on one side, put it on the other, maybe commit to one side when he thinks you're going to put it on the other. I can't give you an exact guide on how to do this. It's very much you trying to bait and counter bait the bandit, and you really just have to do it to actually get good at it. It's kind of difficult to teach. It is a mind game. It is also 9 times out of 10 a 50-50. So you just got to do your best, coordinate with your Thatcher, make sure that they're not wasting all their EMPs too early, just when you need them. But try and practice that timing with Thatcher. That's going to be something that you can teach yourself very quickly. And then in terms of actually dealing with a bandit, that's really something that comes with experience. But one thing I would say is if you hear a bandit slapping a battery down after or on an EMP, so if the EMP's down and the battery is getting equipped before the EMP actually goes off but isn't fully attached by the time that the EMP does go off, you obviously need to cancel whatever plant that you're doing or remove it before it goes live, or at least try to do those things. This is where advanced gadget deployment is helpful. You want that ability to be able to cancel the deploy as quickly as possible so that you're not stuck giving away a gadget, because you've only got 2 chances. Don't waste them. If you don't hear a bandit battery going down, still detonate it as fast as you possibly can after you've got it on the wall. You don't want to mess around. If it means you've got to run to avoid the explosion, that's fine, but you just don't want to risk that thing being sat on a wall, exposed and ready to be shot, blown up, destroyed by gadgets, all sorts of stuff. Just don't risk it. And there's only really one other tip for Thermite, and that is if you've got a teammate who's using a hard breach charge, talk to them and make sure that you're not wasting your charges on stuff that they would probably be better equipped at destroying. So if you've got that big feature wall that you need to take out, go for it. But if there's the smaller walls where maybe a hop-in rotation would be better, a crouch-in rotation would be better, or hatches is the big one, then use them instead. It just makes more sense. Saves your massive utility, gives you a chance to be more helpful along the way. And actually I'll give you one other little tip that I've been kind of trying to apply to my own gameplay. Just because you got the one big wall down doesn't mean you can't use it on other stuff. Now, I've seen people try to give advice about breaching hatches with your breaching charge before, saying that you should plant it on the floor next to a hatch, even if that hatch isn't electrified. I disagree with this because it exposes it to being shot or blown up quite easily. I really don't think it's worth risking, because that's a lot of utility for the sake of a roll of the dice of whether or not the team is going to be able to notice. And yeah, it's a fast detonation, but it's not that fast. You can react and destroy it. So watch out for those things, coordinate with your team, make sure you're taking advantage of the hard breach gadget alongside your unique hard breach. This isn't a case of one is better than the other. obviously yours is going to be more applicable in some situations than the other option. You're not going to be able to effectively deal with a bandit tricking against the smaller charge. But as a Thermite, it does relieve some of the pressure of you having to do all your stuff. So go out, enjoy Thermite. He's a great character. He deserves to be played. And I look forward to seeing you next week for how to play Pulse. Do pobачення, everybody. Bye bye.